Hello there, only one Kenobi here. Only one. I just want to do a little video before I go to bed. And I'm keeping my voice down because the walls of this gaff here are very thin. It's quite late at night, so I just wanted to do a little video following my previous... I've finished talking about Klaatu and Woof now, but the fact is I recarded this old Klaatu figure on a Woof card back because the actual character itself is Woof. Check out those videos if you're interested in the difference between Klaatu and Woof and why the character changed names. But I wanted to talk to you about recarding because I've done quite a lot of recarding the last couple of months. One thing I found was that the VOTC packaging was better to recard classic vintage figures because the bottom of the bubble is flat. Whereas on vintage collection cards the bottom of the bubble has a little trench. So speaking of the Klaatu figure that I recarded, I actually had to put on a little bit of cardboard on the base just so that when he was in the bubble he wouldn't sink inside that trench, because otherwise he would be in there like that, you know, on an angle. So to keep him sort of stood in one flat position, much like this Lando Calrissian can, because he's got to get both his legs on the base of the bubble, I've put the Klaatu in there like that with the card, and there he is, nice and straight, and that was a really good, successful recard. That very happy. But the other things I've been recarding, and I'm going to call this video Recarding, I guess. I haven't actually thought of a title for this video, but one of the things I found interesting to recard are Power of the Force 2 figures, because I'm more specifically speaking recarding Power of the Force 2 figures in vintage collection packaging of 2010 to 2012, because the bubbles of these 2010 to 2012 vintage collection figures are bigger, and as I say, the problem with them is they've got these trenches. But the thing about Power of the Force figures is they're a lot wider and some of them are a lot chunkier and they fill out the space a lot better. The best example I can give you is I opened this VC39 Luke, and inside it's the Death Star Escape Luke, and inside I put a Farm Boy Luke from Power of the Force 2. I just gave him a Stormtrooper blaster, and I actually took the accessory from the actual VC39, which is like a kind of like a rope, and I put that in his hand. I've sealed this up as well, and he's ready to go now. Hang him on a whatever, hang him on a wall or on a peg. But it's worked quite well because his legs just sort of spread him out, and he's in there, and it's working nicely. Let me show you another one, and I'll come back to them in a minute. This is another one that's sealed as well. And it is, I've opened a VC87 Luke lightsaber construction, and inside I put a Return of the Jedi Luke with the hard plastic goods cape. I just had it tucked away in storage, and I thought, well, it's a nice looking figure, but it's not doing much. And you know, Power of the Force 2 figures don't really do a lot really nowadays, and so I think he looks a lot better on this packaging. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. As for the sealing of these figures, I have used Pritt Stick. Now I tried Pritt Stick a long time ago and it didn't work, but what I found is if you double side with Pritt Stick, it does work. And why do I use Pritt Stick? Well, I'll tell you now. Check this out. You see this Klaatu? I actually haven't sealed him up yet, so look at him. He's open still. What I found is if you move it a certain way, can you see the gap there between the plastic seal and the card back? You can see the opening of the card back there. You can see bare cardboard, but if you push it that way it looks almost mint. But the thing about Pritt Stick is that when you put the glue on, before it dries you've got plenty of time to adjust it. So you can put the glue, you put the glue double-sided, you put the glue here on the inside all the way around, you put a nice thin layer of Pritt Stick down here. Obviously you've got to kind of like angle it because Pritt Stick's quite a fat head, isn't it really? I've got an example of a Pritt Stick in here. But basically, you know, this is a lip balm here. You've got to apply it. Just imagine the lid's off the Pritt Stick. You've kind of got to apply it on an angle. Let me see if I can demonstrate this for you. Yeah, let's look down the line like that. So you kind of got to go right down the line because you don't want to get any glue on the actual cardboard. You've just got to go for the opened trimming here. But anyway, so the thing is that when it's still sort of moist, the Pritt Stick, you can just sort of adjust that just like you want it, and he's inside, and then just give it a bit of time to, oh yeah, you see, there you go, that's it, press it down and then leave it, and it's dry. Whereas opposed to if you use if you use super glue, you know, you haven't got any time to refine the lining of the bubble and the seal or whatever, so it doesn't work. So Pritt Stick, I recommend that. Let me show you some more recards then. This one you've seen in the previous video. This is a Power of the Force 2 Emperor's Royal Guard, and he works an absolute treat inside that humongous bubble of the VC 105 vintage collection, because that figure, as I've said in the video I did about it, is not my favourite. It's my least favourite Royal Guard, but he is now an amazing looking figure on that card back, so I'm really pleased with that one. I'm just blowing my own trumpet here, but no, I'm just trying to inspire you. If you are interested in recarding and you want a little bit of a variant sort of collection going on, Power of the Force 2 figures are generally not very good, but they can look amazing on vintage card back. This isn't a Power of the Force, this is a vintage Rebel soldier, but I just thought I'd show you that one. That's worked very nicely. I managed to seal this guy in the internal what do you call it now, the internal bubble in the housing, so actually that's why he fits in like a glove very nicely, and he doesn't move around. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. This is my least favourite of recarding, but I managed to put a Power of the Force 2 Luke pilot inside this bubble here, but this was a terrible mistake because I actually put him inside the I have no idea what you call these, but they're like an interior bubble, should we call it. I put him inside the interior bubble as well because he fit it nicely. However, look at all of these. You can see the accessory holes here for the blaster. That's there, and you can see it, and there's nothing in it, so that didn't work. There's also the the helmet hole there, and that's empty. So really, have I sealed this up? No, yes, I have sealed it up, and possibly with super glue as well, back when I was using super glue to seal stuff up. It's not really that great, whereas this soldier here, he doesn't have any accessory holes, so he just fits snugly in there with no random holes or spaces in there. So anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd show you some recards there, some good and some bad, but generally I've been quite enjoying doing that. Shortly I'm going to be doing a video on this guy here, the Bespin Royal Guard. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up on what I'm thinking of doing next. The Bespin Security Guard. That's one vintage collection figure I would like to see brought back. And this is a recard I did a while ago of a vintage figure on a custom card back. Anyway, this has been Only One Kenobi. Only One out.